Let me start by saying something that might surprise you. If you feel like you're starting from zero or not where you want to be when it comes to retirement savings plans or your plan, you're not alone. But more importantly, I think you're not too late to start where you are now. I hear this all the time. I really do. I should have started sooner. I should have saved more. I made mistakes. Like what I say all the time is we raised kids. We had a big mortgage, not a lot of income. We had hockey, we had school. There really wasn't much left. And how could we save? And then if I'm honest, retirement seemed so far away at that time and I didn't think it was all that important to put extra away then. But I want you to hear this now, and I want you to really listen. Retirement isn't about your perfect past. It really isn't. It begins with an honest present, with an honest conversation with yourself, and that's what we'll have today. I'm Maureen Dobransky. This is Life Starts at Retirement. I produce a retirement lifestyle video once a week. So today, we're just talking about how to start saving for retirement at any age, even if it feels like you're starting from scratch, even if it feels like you're starting not where you want to be. So first, I want to start with why starting late is really more common than you think. Most people don't get up at 20, 25, 27, whenever it is that they're really entering their working years and say, wow, this is a perfect time to start saving for retirement. Oh, I can't wait to wait 30 years to do this. No, life happens. You get a job, you have kids, you buy a house. Potentially nowadays, there's a divorce in there. There could be some illness, more job changes, caring for your parents. Like we had hockey, school, kids, rebuilding after different setbacks. And honestly, we rarely talk about this. Honestly, it's kind of glossed over. We show you these beautiful charts of where you should be if life was perfect and if people did everything right, or their term of right. But real honest retirement planning looks a whole lot messier than that. But there's good news about that. Starting late or starting from where you don't think you should, there's those words again, should be, really isn't a bad thing. It doesn't disqualify you from having a great retirement. It just means that when you finally get to a certain point in your life, you just need to be a little bit more intentional about saving and putting your money away. So the first step to doing that is really stop focusing on the number. Everybody says you need $1 million. Nowadays, you need 3 million to retire. That's the first mistake most people make when they feel behind. They say there's this $1 million number or $2 million number, and they go, oh my gosh, I'm never going to do that. So why bother starting now? I'll never get there. Why try? So let's kind of reframe that. Retirement really isn't about a number. It's about income. It's about lifestyle. So instead of saying, how much should I have saved by whatever age you are now, ask yourself, what does my lifestyle actually cost? Because there's a lot of people living on $3,000 a month that are very, very happy and have a very different plan than someone living on $10,000 a month. And this is where hope begins, because lifestyle really is adjustable. Lifestyle really is, it is adjustable. You can have a very different lifestyle and still be extremely happy in your retirement. It's not a one size fits all, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So step number 2 then, I think, would be know what your money is doing today. And this is this is the part that a lot of people avoid, because it's hard, but it's very, very powerful. You cannot know if you've saved enough for retirement if you don't know what the money you have saved or what any of your income is actually doing today. Not guessing, Not, oh, I think I spend this on this and I spend this. Real numbers. So here's my challenge to you. Track one full month of spending everything, every single solitary thing, from the coffee and donut maybe in the morning to the gas tank fill up to what you spent in groceries to clothes, everything, every single solitary thing. And this isn't meant as to judge yourself. This isn't meant bad. It's not meant to make you feel less than. It's just for now to observe. Here's what you'll discover, because I did this and it was eye-opening. You'll discover what's essential to your life, what's optimal, what's just a habit, what's quietly draining your finances, where your money goes, because awareness isn't bad. Awareness means control. And once you have control, you know where you can be and you can move forward. So then comes step 3. Start small. And I mean small, smaller than you think. Because here's something that really shocks people. Retirement momentum, although if you can put in a big contribution, woohoo, but it doesn't have to come from big money. It doesn't have to come from big contribution. It really comes from consistency. If all you can do is $5 a week, then do $5 a week. If you can do $50 a month, then do $50 a month. Start where you can start. Now, why? Because savings really is more of a habit before it becomes a strategy. Think about that. Once you have a habit of just getting that money into an account, not even knowing you have it, it automatically goes there. Then it's a habit. Now it can become a strategy. And once money starts moving towards your future, your mindset really changes. And once your mindset changes, your behavior follows. So on a personal note for Ken and I, we had zero savings outside of, I had a small pension with Yellow Pages when I worked there. Wasn't large, but that was what we knew we had. Other than that, we had nothing. And again, as I kind of mentioned, it was just life. We had, small kids. We got married young. We had a big mortgage. We had hockey. We had school. We had all these things we had life. We just had life, like all of us do. We had life. And so we had nothing. And I believe it was around 2015, so not all that many years ago, when we really started focusing on this. And we did exactly this. We started small. We took a month out of our life and we measured things. And I went, holy cow, there's things here we could easily cut back and not feel like we're depriving ourselves. And then we started just saving, and automatically it went into our savings account where we couldn't touch. And next thing you know, we had a little chunk of change, and that changed our mindset completely. So again, once you do this, your mindset will change, and then your behavior will change. And it's crazy to see once you have a little bit. For me, it was thrilling. It was mind-boggling. I loved that. So step number 4, use catch-up power wisely. What I mean by that is don't start panicking because you're what you could say is behind. And there's almost 2 schools of thought. If you're over 50, I believe you almost have an advantage over many younger people. So let's start with those of you that are over 50. Here's why I think you have that advantage. Number 1, typically your children, if you have children, are older. You're in a very well-established job. You're making more money than you've ever made in your entire life. So if you go through that 1 month, you'll more than likely see a ton of areas where you can cut and you can stop spending unwisely, if you will, or just change your thought process. And you can start saving way more than someone who's a little bit younger, who might have younger children, etc. So if you're over 50, you can really make your catch-up contributions powerful. And so you can reduce your unnecessary spending. You can pay attention to any fees that you have. You can make your money work for you, not just sitting there. And if you're under 50, then most people typically, you don't have the same level of things that you can cut. You're maybe not at the top of your earning power yet. You maybe have younger children. So that's where that step 3 comes into such power. Start small, $5 a month, $25 a month, whatever that might look like. Just do it and create that habit, because at the under 50s have time on their side. So you don't need to beat the market. You just need a plan that works for your life, no matter if you're over or you're under 50. Step number 5, include your income, not just your savings. And let me sort of clarify what this means. Here's what a lot of people miss when they retire. In fact, I kept focusing just on my savings. I need savings, I need savings, I need savings. But retirement isn't really just funded by savings alone. It's funded by a lot of different things. Canadian here, so this has to be personal to where you are. We have our CPP, we have our OAS. There's some other government benefits that you may be able to apply for. Nowadays, working part-time is very, very common. A lot of people just want something to do. They want the stimulation, so they get a part-time job. Potentially there's rental income. You could rent out a room in your house if you don't have any other rental properties. And then there's skills that you still enjoy using. There's the gig economy. You could be an Uber driver. You could be a skip your dishes. There's so many different things out there that allow you to have income over and above just your retirement savings. So you don't need to stop earning when you retire. You can still earn, but just in a different way. So you have a little bit more freedom and a little bit more lifestyle. So for many people, that semi-retirement, I guess, is the bridge that just seems to make everything work. And I think years ago, that was looked down upon. You had to retire and that was it. Today, we're so vibrant. We're so full of life. You can work part-time. You can work from home. You can do, like I say, the gig economy. It's flexibility, not failure. And then step 6, I would say, was just redefine maybe what enough means. Don't listen to the people that say you need $1 million. Don't listen to the people that say you need 3 million. What does enough mean for you? So if you have to have certain things, well, then of course that is your enough. But if you can have less than in some areas and more than in other areas, wonderful. What does enough mean to you? So to me, enough means that my essentials are covered, that I have choices, that I'm not continually stressed about my choices, but enough is very, very personal. And sometimes enough is way less than you think it is and way closer than you think it is. So those are my thoughts on when you think you don't have enough, or when you're starting from 0, or you're starting from less than and starting to really think about your retirement. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, boy, I wish I would have started this sooner, just pause, because regret doesn't build retirement. Action does. Small steps that create habits, that create a mindset change, that create freedom. Starting today, even imperfectly, puts you ahead of everyone else who's still waiting, who's still not thinking about it. So you're really not behind as such, you're beginning. And that's powerful. I'm Maureen Dabrowski. This is Life Starts at Retirement. If this video helped you, let me know in the comments, what is one small step you're going to take this month? Because retirement isn't built in a day, it's built one decision, one action step, one habit at a time. Thanks for watching.